Hello, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you for your time. I'm continuing with my investigative series, Black Lives Matter, Where is the Money? In this video message, I am investigating Black Lives Matter New York. Where is the money? And this is episode 13 in the series. Here are the Black Lives Matter chapters, and we are now talking about the chapter New York, New York. So all of the chapters before this chapter, I've already discussed, already completed the investigations, and they are on the YouTube channel. So please feel free to go back and look at the results from those investigations if you desire. Here are the questions that I focus on during the investigations. I'm looking for leadership names, mailing address, phone number, email or social media platforms, whether or not the chapter is registered with Charity Navigator or GuideStar, if it has a Secretary of State filing status, if it has an IRS 501c3 status, if it accepts donations, and if so, how are the donations allocated? In other words, where is the money? And does the chapter exhibit financial transparency? So these are the areas that I focus on for all of the investigations for each chapter and Black Lives Matter entity. So rather than just going right to the answers, which I know some people would rather I do, I like to walk through the steps to show you how I got the answers, because I think it's important for you to see how the answers came about. So I'm going to pause the screen just for one moment, and I'm going to go to a website to get the investigation started. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so again, I am still investigating these Black Lives Matter chapters and entities because I'm so bothered by the lack of transparency, accountability, leadership structure, and all of the above with these chapters. And nevertheless, they are still getting millions of dollars and no one knows where the money is going. So now I'm going to share my screen again. And what I'm sharing is the blacklivesmatter.com website. You notice I'm not sharing the Black Lives Matter New York website yet. And the reason that I want to share this website first is because if Black Lives Matter was established as a structured organization that you could see a hierarchy, this site will be at the top. This is the original site that the three founders created when Black Lives Matter was born in 2013. This site shows the chapters that are listed in or underneath the structure if it had been a structure. In other words, this site will be at the top, and then you will have chapters underneath it. And this is the map that shows the chapters, but I'm going to scroll down so that you can see the chapters listed. You have Boston, Chicago, DC, Denver, Detroit, LA, Lansing, Long Beach, the official Black Lives Matter Memphis chapter, Michigan. Michigan was just added this week. Okay, it was just added as one of the quote official unquote chapters this week. So haven't done that one yet, but I will go back to it. Nashville, and now we're talking about New York, then Philadelphia, South Bend, Canada, Vancouver, and Waterloo. So this is New York. And I wanted to show you this one. I'm doing this for a reason. I wanted to show you the New York notation here as a chapter, because you notice ways to connect. The website is not listed here. I had to do some research to find the old New York website that would have been listed here. It's been removed. I'm making a point here, so just stay with me. So you see that New York is listed here, but the site has been removed. Okay, so now I'm going to pause the share, and I'm going to go to the Secretary of State's office in New York. I like to go to the Secretary of State's office just to see if nonprofit organizations or entities are registered with the Secretary of State's office in the state in which they operate. I think that's important to know too, especially if you are considering investing in these entities or chapters. So I'm going to show you the New York Secretary of State's office. I'm already on the page where you do a search. So I'm going to search for Black Lives Matter. So just one moment, please. Okay, I've typed in Black Lives Matter, and now I'm going to type in the capture code here so I can get access to the page so that I can search the database. Uh-oh, stayed out too long. It's expired. Let me try again. Black Lives Matter. Type in the capture code again. I had the page up, but I waited too long to go back to it. So here we are. We have 5 entities that have names similar to Black Lives Matter, and this adds to the confusion over Black Lives Matter. This is why I would say me, this is why I am so confused about Black Lives Matter. But I don't see, I see a Black Lives Matter Greater New York, Inc., Black Lives Matter, Inc., Black Lives Matter Jobs Limited Liability Company, Black Lives Matter Real Estate Fund, Black Lives Matter United, Inc. So I'm going to click on Black Lives Matter Greater New York, Inc. Okay, so the Black Lives Matter Greater New York, Inc. was filed in December 2016. It's active. Okay, let's see who the registered agent is. The registered agent does not list a person. Okay, so you can't trace it back to an individual. All right, so let's get out of that one. And again, I think it's important to do your homework before you invest. Here's Black Lives Matter Inc. Okay, they just filed. Look, June 8th, 2020. Okay, the registered agent, there's not a registered agent listed. A registered agent is a person who will vouch for the integrity of an organization. Okay, so normally you have to list a registered agent, but every Secretary of State's office operates differently. So apparently this is not a requirement for New York. So this one was just registered. I wonder what they're planning to do with it. Okay, let's jump down to Black Lives Matter United because we know the other two here are not what we're looking for. Black Lives Matter United. Oh my gosh, here is same day. Raises my suspicion. Very coincidental. June the 8th, same day as the other one was registered. No registered agent. Huh. Okay. Isn't that interesting? What's really going on here? This is why this organization has absolutely no credibility. So I'm going to get out of that. I don't know if it's the one that we need or not. I don't know if the one that we are investigating is one of these or not. Can't tell. They don't provide information on who actually started them. So let's keep going. Next, I'm going to pause the screen so I can pull up the irs.gov website. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I go here every single time because if you're considering investing in an organization, you want to know the status on the irs.gov website. So I go to home, charities and nonprofits, search for charities, tax exempt organization search. Okay, I've already typed in Black Lives Matter, so I'm going to click on search. Okay, so we're looking for Black Lives Matter New York. Okay, so I'm scrolling down and you've seen this several times if you've been following me. So I do see a Black Lives Matter New York, Bronx, New York, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to click on Black Lives Matter. It shows the determination letter. I'm going to get to that in a minute. The determination letter is the approval letter the IRS sent to the chapter stating that congratulations, you have been given 501c3 status, so on and so forth. But let's go down. When you see auto revocation list, that means the chapter doesn't have a 501c3 status. It means the IRS revoked the status. It revoked it on May 15th, 2019, and the revocation was posted publicly on August 12th, 2019. So, they don't have a status. If this is the Black Lives Matter New York that we're talking about, right? Still don't know. So let's look at the determination letter. I've already pulled it up for you. So let me make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay. So let me increase the size. so that you can see a little bit better. Okay, so here is the letter, the determination letter that they received. Effective date December 22nd, 2016 is when they received their exemption status. So it says New York Black Lives Matter Inc., care of Newsom. Okay, so this information doesn't match the information that was in the that was on the Secretary of State's site. Newsom, who was Newsom? What is this? What's going on? And then it's also in the Bronx. The address is in the Bronx. Okay, so this is different from what we saw with the Secretary of State's office. So now I am still confused as to what is going on. What Black Lives Matter New York chapter is this letter corresponding with? Which Black Lives Matter New York is revoked? You see the confusion that I'm feeling? Are you feeling the same confusion that I'm feeling? It's just so confusing, so convoluted. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is pause the screen and I'm going to go to the actual Black Lives Matter New York site. I've been holding off on going to this site because it's something very important I want to share with you, and I appreciate your patience. So I'm going to go to Black Lives Matter New York. Let me make sure that I'm sharing the screen. Okay, yes, I am. Okay, so this is Black Lives Matter New York. Okay. And when I went to this site, I was looking for the donate button. I was looking for the contact us button. I was looking for all the buttons that you normally see on a website. Let me show you what they are saying, which totally shocked me. So I'm going to read. It says a statement from Black Lives Matter, New York City. I guess that means New York City. January the 5th, 2018. Okay. I'm going to read this statement. There are and always have been multiple paths to continue the work of Black liberation. It has been an incredible journey these last 3 years as we have built connections with Black people in New York City, the country, and the world. Black Lives Matter New York City's participation in the global Black Lives Matter network has taught us many lessons and important insights. The evolution of our journey has brought us to a new space where we feel it is best to take on a new direction independent of the global Black Lives Matter network. So here we are. Black Lives Matter New York City left the Black Lives Matter Global Network. They are not affiliated with the global network anymore. What happened? You can read the full statement yourself. The last part of it is here. Though we will no longer identify as Black Lives Matter New York City or have any direct affiliation with the global Black Lives Matter network, we will continue to do our work as liberation fighters. We remain committed to the projects that we have launched individually and collectively and to fostering the relationship we have built. We want to build the world we seek, the worlds we seek now, always in solidarity and with love. No signature, no name of who wrote the letter, no contact information or anything. Just a form that you can complete if you want to send them a message. Please note we will answer all messages at our discretion. In other words, we're not going to answer your message. I'm just joking. So, Black Lives Matter New York left Black Lives Matter Global Network. I wonder what that's about. You see what I'm saying? This is just so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that we have a statement from Black Lives Matter New York like this statement. If you go to Black Lives Matter New York City, you can read the statement for yourself. But again, they are stating Though we will no longer identify as Black Lives Matter New York or have any direct affiliation with the global Black Lives Matter network, we will continue to do our best. I'm sorry. We will continue to do our work as Black liberation fighters. We remain committed to the projects that we have launched individually and collectively to foster the relationship we have built. And here's the form that I was talking about. Wow. That's all I can say. I would love to know what led to their decision to leave the Black Lives Matter global network, which is right here, by the way. This is the Black Lives Matter global network. And as you can see, here is my point. Took me a long time to get to it. New York is still listed here. The website is not there, but New York is still listed. New York City is still listed as one of the chapters. This is what frustrates me, the lack of organization, the lack of transparency, the lack of accountability, the lack of having people to reach out to. It's just too many lacks in order to feel comfortable investing. So what I'm going to do now is pause the screen, and I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and finish up the investigation. It's going to be a very short roundup because we already know the answers. So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and let you see the answers to the investigations for Black Lives Matter, New York City. Okay, so here are the answers. Not affiliated with Black Lives Matter Global Network. So they're not any leadership names, mailing address, phone number, email, or social media, charity navigator, GuideStar, filing with the Secretary of State's office. We don't know which one was the filing. We saw that on June the 8th, there were 2 new filings for New York. I don't know. We don't know who they are right now because they haven't been accepted as an official chapter yet. 501c3 status, if that was the one we saw on irs.gov, that status is revoked anyway. No donations are accepted. We don't know where the money went that they did accept, because I'm positive that at one point in time, Black Lives Matter New York City accepted donations, but where is that money? Who knows? And there is no financial transparency. So these are the answers to Black Lives Matter New York City, the formal Black Lives Matter chapter. Here are some comprehensive investigation results that I have provided thus far that you can take a look at. Results of the chapters that I've investigated thus far, plus the global network investigation. Pretty much the same. None of them are providing answers to where the money is going. None of them have provided that information at all. So where do I stand as a Black woman, born and raised in South Carolina? Some people ask the question, how dare you go against Black Lives Matter? That's the problem with the Black community now. We're not together. And I say, how dare you not hold them accountable for accepting millions of dollars and not investing it in the Black communities where people think their investments are actually going. When people give money to Black Lives Matter, they just know the money is going to the Black community, and it's not. We don't know where it's going. So where do I stand? Okay. I support the Black Lives Matter statement of fact. Black Lives Matter is a statement of fact. It makes me proud to see diverse groups of people marching for change. But a statement of fact is not a tangible entity that you can invest in. So that's why they had to add the names movement, chapter, and entity so people can have something tangible to send their money. I do not support the Black Lives Matter movement, chapters, or entities because they do not have formal leadership structure, measurable goals or objectives, common operational practices, financial transparency or accountability, or a valid or valid sustainability and long-term plans. I don't support them. So if you can't communicate with me because I don't support Black Lives Matter movement, chapters, or entities, then may God be with you. I have nothing against you. This is a decision that I've made after investigating. I feel very sad for the communities that desperately need those millions of dollars that they're not getting. that people who invest think they're getting. They're not getting the money. I feel sorry for those communities. I feel sorry for the little kids that don't have internet access or laptop computers to learn this summer or since they've been out of school in March. That's a cause that the Black Lives Matter entities or chapters or movements should have taken up, but they didn't. They didn't. I challenge anybody to tell me one community that Black Lives Matter has invested in to close the digital divide. I challenge you to tell me Black Lives Matter donated this amount of laptops, provided internet access for this number of families. That's the kind of work they should be doing, and they're not doing it. That's what bothers me. So this is where I stand. I stand with the statement of fact, but I don't support Black Lives Matter at all. So what's next? Coming up next is episode number 14, Black Lives Matter Philadelphia or Philly. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if these video messages have helped you, or if you would like to learn how to start, fund, manage, sustain, reinstate 501c3 nonprofit organizations, or if you would like to learn how I help people start their own 501c3 nonprofit organizations. That information is available on my YouTube channel as well. I'm Susan Woods. As usual, thank you so much for listening to me talk about Black Lives Matter and subscribing and being a part of this investigation. So thank you so much for your support. Have a great day.